Hi, this is Mike back at you with a 1966 C10 LS conversion. And as soon as I bought this truck, on the outside door handles there was not the locks, it was just push buttons. And somebody's going to steal my truck, I'd like to make it a little bit tough for them. So I put new locks outside on my door handle, which I think is an easy enough process. So I didn't YouTube anything on that. If you want me to, I'd be glad to. But getting the ignition switch out was a little trickier. There's a couple things you can do. You can either take the tumbler out and have it redone by a locksmith. I chose that it was just easier to buy a new locks set for the doors, for the ignition switch. And then I also got one over here for the glove box, if you see that. So when I went to take the ignition switch out, it was real tough. And I found some stuff that was saying, hey, put a paper clip in the hole. I get to mine, I got 2 holes. What do you do? It actually was fairly tough for me at first. I didn't find a video that explained the process very well. So what I want to do is show you in a matter of seconds what took me a couple hours to do, and hopefully this helps you. Now what you do is, if you have the 2 key switch, I don't really know why they have 2 different holes, but if you notice on one, if you push down, there's no going in on this. And then on this one, if you notice, you see how it's like I'm pushing a release button, and you can actually feel it and see it, which is different than going into this one. I'm just hitting metal and there's nothing to it. Now one thing is I did get a heavier duty, thicker paper clip, which helped out a lot easier. So now I'm going to show you the process. Now what you've got to do is you can push that down, but that isn't going to get your tumbler out. What you've got to do is you've got to have the key, and you've got to put it in the ignition. If you don't have the key, this becomes a lot harder process. So hopefully you have the key. So what you do is put the key in the ignition and get ready to turn it. You come in here and push this button that's down in there, and you can see that I'm pushing and collapsing. So hold it down, and then I'm turning counterclockwise. Now with the paper clip in there, that's all the further I can go, and so I pull the paper clip out, and did you see it popped a little bit further? And then at that point, you just pull the whole assembly out, and if you look down in there, you can see right up there at the top of it that is that little button that you were pushing down, that little brass button, okay? And then the tumbler fits down into the rest of here. So let me see if you can see how that was pushing down. And what that did is see how that's flared out right there on the key switch right there? It doesn't allow the key tumbler to rotate around any further to come out. And that's what that button's for. So you've got to depress that so that the ignition switch can roll around further. Once you've done that, it's real easy. I've got my ignition switch that I purchased here. It's a little different, but basically the same thing. You just take it and you set it down in there. Did you hear it pop in there? And now you can go ahead and turn it, and everything's great. And there you go.